Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn the first thing you need to know when you're working with MySQL. That is how to create databases and tables. So by the end of this video, you'll learn a lot of good things. That is how to create a database, how to view database, select a database, create a table, view table, and also how to check table structure, how to delete a database. So for this entire tutorial, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use most easiest example. You can create your own as per what you feel is easy for you. Like I'm going to use a coffee shop example, which makes it very easy. So in terms of definition, as you're all aware, right, database is nothing but an organized collections of data stored and managed in one place. So I'm using MySQL Workbench, as I mentioned in our last video. So imagine we own a coffee shop. So we want to store the information like customers detail, products, orders, payments, right? Something like that. Keeping it very easy. All this information can be stored inside one database. So let's say we call this particular database as coffee underscore shop, right? Make like easy naming convention. Now let's see the database that are already existing inside MySQL. So whenever you open MySQL Workbench, you go to schemas, you will ideally see what are the type of databases that exist in your you know environment. So you can right click, refresh all, you will see all three databases here. There is also an easy command which is show databases. You run this command, this is how you run it. You will see all this kind of databases here, what exists in your environment currently, right? Now this is displaying all the databases that are available on MySQL. So what I'm going to do is right now, you will see something called as MySQL and sys. So these are just for your information, these are system databases created and used by MySQL. So you don't need to worry about them right now. What we want to discuss is to create our own database. So we are going to create our own database. So the command is create database coffee underscore shop. Create database name. That will be the easiest syntax. Now I create it, and if you see, create database coffee shop, one affected is the response, and if you see a green tick mark, which means it is successfully created. Let's rerun and check it. Coffee shop is created. I'm going to refresh it here. You see coffee shop is created. Now this is the database that is created in our environment here, right? Pretty simple, straightforward. Now what we are going to do is we are going to use this particular database, so we can run we can create tables, etc., all the operations that we are going to do for our coffee shop under this particular database. So how we do that is we have a command called use. So we will say use coffee underscore shop colon. It's always important to end it by colon, any command, right? So if you see now, use coffee shop is currently now ready, right? We're all set there. Just refresh it. I'm showing you the schema here, right? Now our database is ready. We have created our new database. Now the important thing comes is table. As we all know, a table is generally something that stores related data in rows and columns inside a database. So think of database, this particular database, as a folder. Inside that folder, we can have multiple tables. For example, this is our coffee shop. We're going to create the first table, which will store XYZ information. And what we can do is we'll create a table. We'll call it customers. Straightforward. Becomes easy. Now to create a table, there are a lot of different data types, available in SQL. We're going to cover that, but I want you to explain. I want to explain you in the most easiest way. So the command is something like create table, table name is customers in this case. Then an open bracket. Then we do a customer underscore ID. This will be an integer data type. Customer underscore name. So we are taking a varchar, that is, it will have 100 characters, and we can also have email, which is again a varchar of 100. So this is done. We always close it and close it with colon again. Now create table, what it will do, it will create a new table and it will define the columns that table will contain. I'm just created it. I'm going to just break it down. Inside the brackets we are defining these columns. So these are all the columns that you see here. So the column would contain values like 1 2 3 4, customer name varchar. So varchar is a data type used to store variable length text, and 100 means that we are allowing the column to store up to 100 characters. Similarly for email as well. And when we run this particular query right now here, if you see, it's a green, go green, the table is created. Let me do a refresh, and if I see here, you see the table, all the columns here, customer ID, customer name, email, this already, right? This is the most easiest, or the fastest way to see if table is created or no on the UI itself. Definitely can validate through command also. So how we will check that is, we have a command called show tables. This will display all the tables inside the current selected database, which is coffee shop. So if you see, we just created customers table, and this is how we can see. So a quick recap: show database will show us all the databases, while show table will show us the table inside the database we are currently using it, right? So this is pretty important to understand. Now there is another useful command that is called describe. So what it does is, it displays the structure of table including its column names and data types. So what you can do is dsc table name customers, run it. It will show us what is the field, what is the type, what is the different values here, right? So we can see three columns: customer ID, customer name, email. We also see their data types, we also see the shorter version, etc. Now we will go more in detail on this in the upcoming tutorials, but this is how we see the structure, right? Now there's something called how to delete a database in SQL. If we use the word drop, this, like drop database, database name, so it will permanently delete the database and everything stored inside it. So you have to be very, 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 very careful when you're using this command, especially in testing environment, pre-prod environment, or in a production environment, right? So in our coffee shop database, we have customers table currently, right? And let's imagine it's a production database. We may have thousands of records, right? So we'll not execute this, but I just want you to see, right, how these things work, right? Let's say drop database coffee shop. If I do that, everything we did right now will be boom, it will be gone. I'm going to show that to you so you know how everything looks. So if you see, immediately from my left view, that database is gone, table is gone, everything is cleaned, right? So let's do a quick recap. So we understood how we view database using the show database command, how we can create database, how we can select database using the use database command, And the important thing is we also created a table using the create table name followed by respective columns, their data types separated by comma and ending with colon. Right, so this is what we have studied so far, and in the next we will see how we can play more around with different components, etc. in SQL. If you have any questions, feel free to comment and I'll answer. See you in the next one. Thank you.